Principle number 9. The world is made of shapes and lines. Now, maybe you remember when you were little, when you were a kid, maybe in kindergarten, and you made a drawing. You may have used something like this, a simple square and a triangle, and you created a house. So this is one of the ways, one of the meanings of this principle. Now we can break the world down into simple shapes. And in Neurographica, we work with those, with the triangle, with the square, with the circle. And we can literally describe anything with it. Oh, I can create a tree. And if you have ever taken art classes, drawing classes, we actually learn that there too. We can break down a figure into these very simple shapes and start with that. We'll start drawing a person, for example, with like kind of simple oval shapes. And everybody will see that that's a person. Now, how we can use this in Neurographica is even going beyond this. We can make things visible that are invisible. I can, for example, say that this person is very angry. I can say, okay, he's got like this anger triangles, and I'm just making up a meaning for these triangles, and I say, yeah, they mean that he's angry. Or I could, for example, show his thoughts with little bubbles. No, like we know in comic strips, for example. No, we have little bubbles, and then the thought is there. So we can bring this to an abstract level. We can add all kinds of different shapes and create a story with the shapes. We give meanings and qualities to each shape. No, we can say there's something happening in this house, or maybe this person is going into the house. Now I can just create a story here with the shapes, with the scale of each shape, with the proportions, and with the relationships between them. So I can make a very complicated story simple in putting it into simple shapes. And this is a combination of things that we can see as well as things that we can't see. Now comes the line. So that is what we can kind of see in other drawing practices as well, for example. We use shapes and we create with shapes. Now, how we use the line is to create the idea that there's energy flowing between those elements. The line really transfers energy. It is movement. It shows me how my thoughts connect these things together. And the way we work with the line is really making the image even more abstract. And it connects and integrates all the different elements of the drawing. So when I make a Neurographica drawing, I want to connect every single element with a line. Everything has to be touched by a line. And then this, of course, creates a very different image where I can not only see the figures, but I can also see how they are connected. I can see that some are connected really densely, for example. Now, if I have many lines between two figures, then I can see, okay, they're in interaction. I can see Pavel calls it the graph of a process. Now, the line is a graph of the process of what happens between those figures, the story that's unfolding. That's how we use the line. So, in a way, this is really how we make an invisible world visible, and we combine it with this idea of bringing elements into the drawing that depict pictures or that depict elements of the world out there. elements of the world that's inside of us, and then we combine those with the lines, we connect them, and we bring them into a process. So that's really where our drawing becomes a process. So here is how my world, my inner world here, is made out of shapes and lines.